Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. We are going to start with academic IELTS reading. And those who are general training IELTS candidates, keep that in mind. General training reading section 3 is 100% same like academic reading. Right? One thing. Second thing, marking criteria is different. For academic reading, 30 correct answers, you get 7 band. In general training reading with 34 correct answers, you get 7 band. So for general training candidates, it's a very good idea to solve some academic tests. And when they go to general training, they will find them easier. Okay? Alright, before we start, I would just like to tell you that by solving this test, I will give you the guideline, how to read the questions, what to read first, what are the type of questions and how to deal the type of questions, and you have to be active and alert as well. Remember one thing, you will be doing a lot of things. You will read, you will listen to me, you will follow my instructions. So sometimes my voice can be noise for you as you are trying to read. So don't worry about it. In actual exam, there will be pin drop silence. And when you practice at home, again, there will be silence. For now, I don't want you to do it independently. Now you have to do it dependently. How to do it dependently? If I'm reading the question, you also read the question with me. If I say go to second paragraph, third line, go to second paragraph, follow third line, and if I read something, you have to follow it there on your handout. Okay, so like this we will do this reading and there'll be 40 questions, and those who've got the target of 6 band, they only need 23 correct answers. Those who need 5 band, they need 20 correct answers. Okay, those who need 7 band in reading, academic reading, they need 30 correct answers. So even you've got the margin. Right? For example, if your target is 6.5, so for 6.5, you need around 25, 26, 27 correct answers. So you still have the margin of mistakes. Okay? So don't be pessimistic, don't be negative. Right? When we reach section 3, things can be tough. Things can be beyond your understanding. Because the way we are going to read, there are 3 reading levels. The first level is, I would not call it basic. It's just like a beginner level. Right? Second is intermediate level, and the third section is advanced level. So in section 3, those who understand advanced level English, they will be able to understand. Otherwise, many students, they surrender. Surrender means aap unke bas ka baat nahi hai. Okay? Right? Something like that. But don't worry, as I mentioned before, academic reading or reading part 1 will prepare you for part 2, and part 2 will prepare you for part 3. So you need to, if you pay more attention to part 1, you solve many part 1s, you are ready for part 2. And then you solve many part 2s, you are ready for part 3. It goes on like this. So let's start with passage 1. What's the title? Cork. If you read the title and you understand, then go to the questions. If you read the title and you don't understand, then read the first or second sentence of the passage. Cork. Now please, let's read first sentence. Cork. The thick bark of the cork oak tree is a remarkable material. Have you ever noticed on the bottles, wine bottles or other bottles, they have a cork. It's a soft thing. Now they don't use it. Now they've got caps and all that. But in the past, they used to have a cork, right? A very soft substance and all that. Even today on wine bottles, they use cork. And then they open like, yeah, like this, okay? And all that. So this is cork. And this comes from tree. So we understand that they're going to talk about cork, where does it come from and all that. Right after this, you will come to the questions. And remember, you will not read all the passage to find answers. There are 13 questions in part 1. 13 questions means there are 13 sentences in the passage which you have to read to find the answers. Right? Now it depends on you how to reach those 13 sentences. Reaching the right sentence is very, very important. If you are in a wrong paragraph and looking for an answer, at the end you will write wrong answer. You know why? Out of frustration, you have to write something. Okay, so you will write the wrong answer and all that. Okay, let's start. Question number 1, we've got true, false, not given. Now, remember, and you should remember this for actual exam. For each type of questions in IELTS reading, you should have a action plan. You should have an action plan. What is that action plan? True, false, not given? Good. First I will read the question, find a clue word from the question, go to the passage, look for that clue word in the passage, then I will read the sentence which is related to that. I will match it with the question and then decide whether the answer is true, false or not given, and questions and answers are in order. Got it? What is it? Action plan. And you should know it, where they are in order, where they are not in order. In true, false, not given, sometimes there is a word or a sentence which decides whether the answer is going to be true, false or not given. And by the way, all the tricks are in the question. So question number 1, please follow me. Cork oak, oak is the tree actually. Cork oak has the thickest bark, underline thickest bark of any living tree. Now listen, do you know bark? One bark is woof woof and the other bark is the outer part of the tree. You know, chilka, drakht ka chilka, exactly. That is called bark. Now those who understand, the cork has the thickest bark. Thickest bark, mota kutta, thickest bark, whoa, whoa. Okay, if you don't understand bark, so you are helpless. So you should know, and as we are talking about oak, oak is a tree, right? Like say Bod ka darakht, Bod wala chowk here in Lahore. So cork oak has the thickest bark of any living tree. Living tree means a tree that exists today. Many trees have died out. So a tree that exists, and the thickest bark. Thickest mean out of all the trees, oak tree has got the thickest bark. Now we go back. Can you see second paragraph? And the cork oak. Got it? What was the clue word? Cork oak. And usually when you do questions 1 to 7, answers will start coming from first paragraph or maximum second paragraph. If the question type is where questions and answers are in order, it will start from first paragraph or maximum second paragraph. And once you find one answer, you read on and on and on. You will find other answers for true, false, not given. So, and the cork oak itself is an extraordinary tree. Its bark grows up to 20 centimeter in thickness. Now listen. Up to 20 centimeters in thickness. Have they compared it with other trees? Have they mentioned that it has got the thickest bark? They only said the bark grows up to 20 centimeters in thickness, insulating the tree like a coat wrapped around the trunk and branches and keeping the inside at constant 20 centigrade all year round. Now come back, exactly, come back. Cork oak has the thickest bark. No, there is no mention. They did not compare cork oak, in simple words, no comparison is given. Because the question is comparative. When they say the thickest bark, they are comparing it. For true, false, not given, sometimes they give you comparative sentences as well. So no comparison is given. That is why answer is not given. So for not given, you can write NG, capital N, capital G, or you can write not given. Question number 2. Scientists have developed a synthetic cork, underline synthetic cork. Now synthetic is like artificial. It's not from the tree. Synthetic means they've created, they've developed it. Scientists have developed a synthetic cork with the same cellular structure, underline same cellular structure at natural cork. Now look here, look here. Scientists developed artificial cork and then there is the natural cork. Now both corks, if they have same cellular structure, the structure of the cell. If you've studied biology, you know that, okay? So if the structure is same, answer is true. If the structure is different, like, if a synthetic cork has a different cellular structure, natural one has a different one, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us whether the structure is same or different, answer is, now cellular structure is your keyword. Cellular structure, found it? It's the second paragraph, and please come to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th line. Developed most probably, found it? Okay, whenever you find the clue word in the passage, go back to the last full stop and then start reading from there. Understand? You found the clue word. Now see where is the last full stop. And then, so I'm reading it from here. Developed most probably as a defense against forest fires, the bark of a cork oak has a particular cellular structure with about 40 million cells per cubic centimeter that technology has never succeeded in replicating. Technology has never. Now, what do they mean by technology? For technology, they have made this synthetic cork. So it means synthetic cork has a different cellular structure and natural one has got a different one. So the answer is false. I request you all to underline the sentences where I'm telling you the answer is, so that when you go back home, you can practice on your own. Underline or bracket question number 1, this sentence, question number 2, this sentence, and all that. Question number 3, individual cork oak trees must be left for 25 years between the first and second harvest. Now look here. Look here. What is harvest? Harvest is when they take out the bark and they make the cork, right? So they say individual trees, oak trees must be left for 25 years. Like one time they harvest, then there is a gap of 25 years and then they harvest again. So if the gap is of 25 years, answer is true. If it is more than that or less than that, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us the number of years, then the answer is not given. So let's go back. Where is it? In 4th paragraph. Now have you seen there is a jump? So listen, how will you reach 4th paragraph? It's not that from a 2nd paragraph you will read on and on and on and on, and then you will realize, okay, now answer is here. What will you do? You will scan. Absolutely. This is what we call scanning, that you're looking for some specific information and especially the number. When in the question there is a number, you're looking for number. So let's see, where is the number? Yeah. So I'm reading it from 4th line. 4th paragraph, 4th line. After the full stop. Cork production is above all an exercise for patience from the planting of a cork sapling to the first harvest takes 25 years. Now look here. From plantation to first harvest, it takes 25. Now it's not from one harvest to another harvest. Try to understand. Not from one harvest to another. From plantation to harvesting, it takes 25 years. And a gap of approximately a decade must separate harvest from an individual tree. Decade. Decade means, and over there they mentioned 25 years. Answer is false. Very good. And some of you will write true. They will read this. 25 years. 25 years. True. Canada. Okay. So please be careful. You understand? Right? I mean, if you don't understand the concepts, your guesses will be wrong as well. Let's go on. Question number 4. Cork bark should be stripped in dry atmospheric condition. Underline dry. What is the opposite of dry? Wet. Okay, like we did yesterday, wet weather, dry weather, and all that. So if it is dry weather means sunshine. Sun, sunny day, and all that. So let's go back. It's the same paragraph and you're going to read it from 5th last line. You even have to wait for the right kind of summer's day. Got it? Same paragraph. Everyone found it? Please help your neighbors. If anyone doesn't find it, please help them. It's the title page, 5th last line. You even have to wait for the right kind of summer's day to harvest cork. If the bark is stripped on a day when it is too cold or when the air is damp, the tree will be damaged. So if the air is damp means wet weather. And he says here, summer's day. Summer's day means dry weather, summer's day, and they link it. And why dry weather? Because they've used the word damp. Damp means what? Wet weather, when there is damp. So he said at that time you can't do it. Let's read it again. If the bark is stripped on a day when it is too cold or when the air is damp, the tree will be damaged. So let's go back. Question is, cork bark should be stripped in dry atmospheric condition, because they said if it is damp, you will damage the tree. That is why answer is true. Clear? Right? Okay. The only way, words like only, these type of words are very important in true, false, not given. Please underline only. Question number 5. Only way to remove the bark from the cork oak tree is by hand. Now look here, look here. If they say you can only do it by hand, answer is true. If they say sometimes you can do it by hand, otherwise you can use some tools to do that, then the answer is false. And if they don't tell us how to do it, by hand or by tools, then the answer is not given. Now let's go back. The very next paragraph. Okay, now the second page, we are on the second page and second line. No mechanical means of stripping cork bark has been invented. No mechanical means. Then what does it mean? You've got to do it by hand. No mechanical means. Let's read on. So the job is done by teams of highly skilled workers. First they make vertical cuts down the bark using small sharp axes, and axes are used by hand. Then lever it away in pieces as large as they can manage. Right? So as they've mentioned here, no mechanism means of stripping cork bark has been invented. So the job is done by teams of highly skilled people. If there is no mechanism of with the machinery, they will do it by hand. Answer is true. And by the way, they've used the word small sharp axes. Now small sharp axes, how do you use the axe? With your hand. So it's done by hand. Is this all clear? Okay. अब एक चीज़ बता रहा हूँ कि कुछ लोग आप में से ऐसे भी होंगे जिनके सर के ऊपर से गुजर रहे हैं. आई नो दैट. ठीक है, पोज सारे यही कर रहे हैं, हमें समझ आ रहा है. ठीक है, इन दैट केस आपने जहाँ जहाँ पे मैं बता रहा हूँ आंसर दिया हुआ है, उन सेंटेंसेस को अंडरलाइन कर लें, ब्रैकेट में कर लें, वहाँ पे क्वेश्चन नंबर लिख दें और फिर आप जाके दोबारा इसको ठंडे दिमाग के साथ एक दफ़ा सोचिएगा. Okay guys, now we go on. The next question type is complete the notes below. Always remember, whenever we have completion type of questions, notes completion, table completion, flowchart completion, diagram completion, anywhere they use the word complete, questions and answers are in the same order. Whether it is in part 1, part 2 or part 3, questions and answers are in the same order. Is this clear? Is this clear? Yes. अजय हुने तो मौत पैगी थानू. हाँ अभी तो part 1 है यार. Come on, कट्ठे सोग मनाएंगे. All right. So choose one word only. Yeah. No, you know, whenever you start with a new type of questions, there is always going to be a different location. First, you need to find the answer to first question and then you go on and on and on. It's not that where you finish true, false, not given, now the answers will start. No, it's not that. Okay? So for each type set of questions, you have to find the location of first question. Okay. Choose one word only from the passage. So you will not write any word on your own. You will choose the word from the passage. Comparison of aluminium screw caps and cork bottle stoppers. So comparison of aluminium screw caps. Look for the word aluminium screw caps, cork bottle stoppers and all that. Wow. Second last paragraph, and you are lucky. You know why? All the answers are going to be in the last two paragraphs. Got it? Okay. Now we come back and we read the question. So if they give any title, the purpose of giving you the title is so that you reach that place where there is the answer. Okay. Advantages of aluminium screw caps. And they have given 3 points. What does that mean? There are 3 advantages. Do not affect the dash of the bottle contents. Look here. Bottle content means what is inside the bottle. So do not affect the dash of bottle contents. Please come back. It's the second last paragraph. I'm reading it from the tiniest concentrations. Found it? The tiniest concentrations. Right side column, fourth line, fifth line. Everyone found it? Okay. The tiniest concentrations, as little as 3 or 4 parts to a trillion, can spoil the taste of the product contained in the bottle. See that? And if you go back, alright, the result has been a gradual yet steady move first towards plastic stoppers and more recently aluminium screw caps. So please come back. Advantages of aluminium screw caps: do not affect the dash of the bottle contents. Okay, let's go back. We read it again. Please come back. The tiniest concentrations, as little as 3 or 4 parts of a trillion, can spoil the taste of the product contained in the bottle. Contained in the bottle. Product contained in the bottle means the contents of bottle. Right? And then they say the result has been a gradual yet steady move first towards plastic stoppers and more recently to aluminium stoppers. Now, aluminium screw caps, they do not affect the taste of the content. For content, they use the word product. So the answer is taste. Tricky. This is tricky one. Correct answer is taste. And you will not write the taste because the taste, they are 2 words. And they've mentioned 1 word only. Okay. Next, are dash to produce. Yeah. Now let's go on. Aluminium screw caps. These substitutions are cheaper to manufacture. What is the word for manufacture? Produce. Answer is, so sometimes answer will be as simple as this. Otherwise, it can be like question number 6. So the answer is cheaper. Are dash to use. Good. Let's read on. Manufacture and in the case of screw caps, more convenient for the. Now, what is the word for to use? For the user. So the answer is convenient. And you have to see this thing that, okay, if convenient is the answer, what is the word for to use? For to use, they have written for the user. Unless you find this thing, there are chances that you write the wrong answer. Some may write user as the answer. And then they are double confident when they write the wrong answer. Okay, yeah. They say Jahaz is waiting for me. Okay. Advantages of cork bottle stoppers. Advantages of cork bottle stoppers. Can you see the cork bottle stoppers? It's the very next paragraph. Classic cork stoppers. Alright? So let's see. Now we read the question. Suit the dash of quality products. Suit the dash of quality products. I'm reading it. The classic cork stopper does have several advantages. However, firstly, its traditional image is more in keeping with that of the type of high quality goods. Image, well done. Its traditional image is more in keeping with that of the type of high quality goods. So come back to the question. Suit the image of quality products. Question number 10, please. Made from dash material, type of material. Made from dash material. Let's read on. Please follow me. Secondly, now this is the second advantage and we are doing this notes completion. Secondly, and very importantly, cork is a sustainable product that can be recycled without difficulty. Can be recycled without difficulty. So the material is sustainable, right? For material they use the word product. Sustainable product, sustainable material, made from a sustainable material that can be recycled. And by the way, if you write here, made from a they use the word recycled, yeah, without difficulty. Okay, next, easily dash. Good. And what is the word for easily? Without difficulty. And again I tell you, you must know these type of things. Without difficulty, that means easily, and answer is recycled. So have you noticed some questions and answers are very simple, and in part 1 you will come across such type of things. Okay. Question number 12. Cork forests aid. Aid means help. So please be quiet and do it individually. Don't discuss anything with anybody. Do it quietly. Otherwise the whole environment is going to be polluted. Cork forests aid something. Please come back. Moreover, I'm reading it the last few lines. Moreover, cork forests are a resource which support local. Now, what is the word for aid? Support. Support and aid, they are the same words, and the answer is biodiversity. And when you write biodiversity, be careful with the spelling. In reading, if you have a spelling mistake, it is just because of your own carelessness. Let's go on. Last point. Cork forest stop dash happening. Stop dash happening. For stop, they use the word prevent. And prevent desertification. Got it? Yes. And prevent desertification. So for prevent, they use the word stop. Answer is desertification. All good? Yeah? Okay. Okay, let's go on. Now we have reading passage 2, academic reading, and the topic is collecting as a hobby. Right? Collecting as a hobby. Hobby, not hubby. Yeah, collecting as a hobby, that you like collecting things. Like some people collect coins. Some people collect currency notes. Some people collect matchboxes. Some people collect what? Pebbles, pictures, coins, stamps, absolutely. So collecting as a hobby means there's going to be a passage which will talk about some hobbies and what is it that people collect and all that, right? Now we go to the questions first. Questions 14 to 21. Complete the sentences below. Choose one word only. Complete the sentences below. What does it mean? It's type A. Questions and answers are going to be in order. Good news. And after that we have true, false, not given. Another good news. Again, questions and answers are in order. Only where questions and answers are not in order, that question type takes long time and you have to do it at the end. At the end of that very section. Always start with questions where questions and answers are in order. Don't follow the order of questions that they have given you. You have to follow your own order. And your own order is where questions and answers are in order. I will do that first and then at the end I will go to the other types, right? So, question number 14. The writer mentions collecting dash as an example. Now listen, collecting dash as an example means it's going to be a commodity. Collecting dash as an example of collecting in order to make money. Like some people collect dash in order to earn money from there. Let's go back. Example, the writer gives an example. It's not necessary that they're going to use the word example. Collecting in order to make money. Second paragraph. Everyone found it? Yeah. Now listen, before you reach second paragraph, you will not read first paragraph. If you read first paragraph to reach second paragraph, you will never be able to complete IELTS reading in 1 hour. Then you need at least 3 hours because there are 3 passages. Okay, so if you do so, and scanning is very good. Through scanning, the first target is to reach where there is the answer, then read. Otherwise, if you are scanning and you don't know how to reach there, you can do skimming. Skimming means to read few things, a sentence, half sentence, a phrase, to decide, to determine that this is the right answer. And if it isn't, if the answer is not there, scan on. Scanning, skimming, and then you reach the right place and then you can read it all carefully. So, there are people who collect because they want to make money. Now, we have got to see what is it that they collect. This could be called an instrumental reason for collecting. That is, collecting as a means to an end. They will look for say. Now, listen. The word say means for example. Say means for example. They look for say antique as they can buy cheaply and expect to be able to sell at a profit. So, antique, absolutely. The writer mentions collecting antique as an example of collecting in order to make money. And they have written plural word antiques. Will you write singular or plural? Absolutely, copy paste. 100% copy paste. If it is antiques here, you will also write antiques. So, sorry? Answer lag gaya par matlab nahi aaya. Antiques means, have you seen Barbie doll? Barbie doll, beautiful one, yeah? Antiques means old. Theek ho gaya? Yeah. So now here you are helpless. If you don't know what is the meaning of antique, you can ask the examiner. In actual exams, hey, idhar aa. Antique da matlab das. Yeah, if they don't tell you, you have a pointed pencil. Dasta kyun nahi? Okay. Alright. Okay, let's go on. So that is why please focus your vocabulary. If you don't understand what you read, many students have this problem. They tell me my band is not increasing from 5 and 5 band can come from fluke. Fluke means tukka. You'll find the answer. Okay, answer is true. How? I don't know. I think it is true. Yeah? Okay, it is false. So they get 5, 4.5 just because of flukes. So that is why understanding is more important. Question number 15. Collectors may get a feeling of. Now listen. Answer is a feeling. Answer is an emotion. For feeling, they use the word emotion. Feeling of dash from buying and selling. Collectors get a feeling of. Now we go on. Same paragraph. But second paragraph, exactly. Second paragraph. And I'm reading it from 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth last line. But there may well be a psychological element too. Buying cheap and selling dear. Dear means expensive. Buying cheap and selling dear can give the collector a sense of triumph. Triumph. And sense means feeling. Now, if you know sense and feeling, they are same words. Sometimes for feeling, they use the word emotion of, feeling of, they feel. So the answer is triumph. Triumph. Good. And triumph means kamyabi, success, achievement, and all that. Okay? By the way, if you don't know the meaning, you can still find the answer, right? Yeah. So question number 15, answer is triumph. Question number 16, collectors clubs. Now the word is clubs. Collectors clubs provide opportunity to share dash. Now the clue word is collectors club and opportunity to share something. Let's go back. Third paragraph, many collectors collect to develop their social life, attending meeting of a group of collectors. Now this group of collectors is actually called collectors club. Group of collectors and exchanging information on items. Exchanging information, and for that they use the word share. Now share and exchange, they are synonyms in IELTS. And by the way, that's why I stress you to learn collocations. In collocations, to share information, to exchange information, to impart information. So with information, if you know collocations, you can find the answer easily. So the answer is information. Question number 17. Collectors Club offer. dash with people who have similar interest. They offer something with people who have similar interest. Same paragraph. This is a variant on joining a bridge club or a gym, and similarly brings them into contact with like-minded people. Huh? Contact. Well done. Bring them in contact with like-minded people. Come back. Collectors Club offer dash with people who have similar interest. Now, what is the word for people who have similar interest? Like-minded people. Absolutely. So, the answer is contact. And by the way, in the answer key, they have given two answers. One is contact and second is meeting. Have they mentioned meeting? No, but anyways, they've given this word. Anyways, contact is the right answer. Now we go on, huh? Say yeah, good. I'm telling you again, honestly, this is the simplest way we are doing academic IELTS reading. There is nothing beyond that. After that, it's only you read the question, translate. You read the passage, translate. Then you say, samjhe okay nahi? Okay, something like that. So, just underline the sentences where there is the answer, go back home and try to focus individual question one by one, and then you'll find the answers. No, good question. If we write the word like-minded with the hyphen, it's one word. Like-minded with the hyphen, one word, right? Let's go on. Question number 18. Collecting sometimes involve a lifelong, important word, dash for a special item. Lifelong dash for a special item. Yes, another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special or a particular example of the collected item, such as rare early recording by a particular singer and all that. So another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special or a particular example of the collected item, such as rare early recording by a particular singer. Come back. Collecting sometimes involves a lifelong desire for a special item. Now tell me, what is the word for lifelong? Whole life. Any word here? Motive, exactly. Another motive for collecting. Motive for collecting? Sorry? Second line, find something special. Okay, yes, exactly, that is that. Well done, absolutely. Some may spend their whole lives in a hunt for this. Okay, that's good. So anyways, answer is lifelong. Yes, now listen, there are two things. Well, that's fine. Absolutely, we've got to change our mind. Because they did not mention anything about lifelong, and for lifelong they've mentioned the word who lives in a hunt. Now, when you live in search of something, that is your lifelong thing. So the answer is going to be hunt. Yes. Okay, for question number 18, answer is going to be hunt. Sorry? Okay, listen, let's read the question again. Collecting sometimes involve a lifelong dash for a special item. I'm reading it from the next paragraph. Some may spend their whole lives in a hunt for this. Now this word this takes you back to the previous paragraph. Another motive for collecting is the desire to find something special. By the way, when you go to answer key, they have written two answers. One answer is desire and one answer is hunt. So when you go to old Cambridge IELTS books, there they have such type of confusions. Now this is a confusion. When you go to the answer key, you will find one answer is written like hunt and then it's written desire. So whether you write hunt or desire, any answer can be right. But this thing was confusing. But when you go to the new books means after 9, 10, 11, 12, we don't have such type of things, right? So don't worry. Whether you write hunt or you write desire, both answers are good. Let's go on. Question number 19. Searching for something particular may prevent people from feeling Their life is completely dash. Focus the word. Life is completely dash. Good. The word life. So it's the first paragraph on the right side. First paragraph, second line. Psychologically. Found it? Psychologically, this can give a purpose to a life that otherwise feels aimless. So, purpose to a life, purposeful life, and otherwise aimless life. So, the answer is aimless. Exactly. Okay, let's go on. Question number 20. Stamp collecting may be dash. 19 searching for something particular may prevent people from feeling their life is completely. So please come back. Second line from the right side, first paragraph. Psychologically, this can give a purpose to a life. What can give a purpose? Collecting things and all that gives a purpose to a life that otherwise. What do they mean by that? What do they mean by that? Life, absolutely. That otherwise means life otherwise feels aimless. So aimless is the right answer. And one more thing. Let's read on. Let's read on. There is a danger though that if the individual is ever lucky enough to find what they are looking for rather than celebrating their success, they may feel empty. And they have written empty or aimless in the answer key. And again I'm telling you, in the latest test they will not have two words that either this or that. This is only in some books like that, okay? But this test is not from a very old book. Now let's go on. Question number 20. Stamp collecting may be dash. Clue word stamp collecting may be dash because it provides facts about different countries. Very next paragraph. If you think about collecting postage stamps, another potential reason for it, or perhaps a result of collecting, is its educational value. Now come back. Stamp collecting may be educational because it provides facts. May be educational. Its educational value and may be educational. Sorry? Educational is adjective. It's not necessary that there should be a noun. May be educational, right? No, not necessary. Not necessary here. Okay? Yeah. In that case, you know what do? They give you 3-4 adjectives together. 1, 2, 3, and then there is a noun. So in that case, noun is the answer. May be educational. Question number 21. Just a second. Question number 21. Dash tends to be mostly a male hobby. A hobby that is only a male hobby. Let's go back. Male hobby. Male, they use the word men. Men, boys and men. Found it? Okay. It's the last paragraph, title page, right side column. In the past and nowadays, too tough to a lesser extent, a popular form of collecting, particularly among boys and men, was train spotting. Now train spotting, and what is the word for male? Boys and men. And what is the hobby? Train spotting. Train spotting tends to be mostly a male hobby. Okay, now we've got true, false, not given. And true, false, not given over here, questions and the passage, they are in order. The good thing. Question number 22. Number of people buying dolls. What is doll in Urdu? Say it loudly. Again. गुड़िया कित्थों आ गई हो काका? तेरी ते गुड़िया भी सही नहीं है. Say again. हाँ? हाँ. Yeah. All right. Gudiya. Gudiya. Yeah, Gudiya is also a common nickname in our country. Gudiya. Yeah. Yeah. Gudiya. And you know, once a friend of mine, he has got his wife who's got a nickname as Gudiya, और उस बेचारे की ट्रबल पता है क्या है, उसको चिड़िया भी नहीं कहना आता. Okay, he says चिड़िया and then Gudiya will become Guriya. Guriya. All right. रे नहीं आता, बीवी के नाम में रे आ गया. Okay. All right. No, not him. Another friend. Okay. So doll. Doll means Guriya. 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 Yeah. Question number 22. Number of people buying dolls has grown over centuries. Look here. If the number of people who buy dolls that has increased over centuries, over the time period, answer is true. If it has decreased or it is same, answer is, and if they don't tell us whether the number, they will tell us the number, but if the number, they will not tell us whether the number has increased or decreased, then the answer is not given. And you should know that. In true, false, not given, when you read the sentence, you should know what is the false version. If this is the answer, it's true. If that is written, it's false. And if they don't tell this thing, then the answer is not given. Now, can you see the word doll? गुड़िया ढूंढ के लाएं. गुड़िया ढूंढें, गुड़िया. मिल गई? All right. गुड़िया आसानी से मिल जाती है, जाती नहीं. Okay? Yeah. So, let's see. Some people collect dolls. कुछ लोग गुड़िया इकट्ठी करते हैं. क्या बात है? All right, plural लिखा हुआ. Now, some people who collect dolls may go beyond simply enlarging their collection and develop an interest in the way that dolls are made. गुड़िया कैसे बनती है? And the materials that are used. गुड़िया किस material की बनी होती है? नहीं कहते गुड़िया तो किस चीज दी बनी है? Like that, okay? Teach ना होए थे. Okay, these have changed. Now listen. These have changed means the material with which the doll is made and the way the doll is made, these have changed over the centuries from the wood that was standard in 16th century Europe and all that. So have they told us anything that the number of people buying dolls has grown or the number of people buying dolls has decreased? No. So the answer is not given. Okay? Not given. Question number 23, please. 16th century European dolls. European dolls mean bahar di guddi. Yeah. 16th century European dolls were normally made of wax and porcelain. Now look here. 16th century is your clue word. If the dolls were made of wax and porcelain, answer is true. If they were made of another material, answer is. And if they don't tell us the material, answer is, ये आपको, this is the thing that you guys should know. Now we go back. They've written here 16th century Europe through the wax and porcelain of later centuries. Porcelain. Now let's read again. These have changed. I'm reading this line. It's the first paragraph on second page and sentence number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These have changed. Found it? Now let's read carefully. These have changed over the centuries from the wood that was standard in 16th century Europe. What was standard? Wood in 16th century Europe through the wax and porcelain of later centuries. Now porcelain came later centuries, not 16th century. Come back. 16th century European dolls were normally made of wax and porcelain. False. Exactly. Because that was in the later centuries, not that century. That is why it is false. Again, English मुक गई तो समझ नहीं आएगी. So, yeah. It could be. Yes, absolutely. Yes, please. May go beyond does not mean that the number of people buying dolls has grown. Go beyond means they can go to any limit. किसी भी हद तक गुड़िया के लिए जा सकते हैं. Yeah, गुड़िया के लिए जान का नजराना भी पेश कर सकते हैं. Okay? Yeah. फिर वही गुड़िया होती है जिसको बाद में कहते हैं एनाबेल हो गई है. सेम गुड़िया becomes Annabelle. मैं तो समझा था मासूम गुड़िया होगी, निकली क्या एनाबेल, पता है ना? एनाबेल हॉरर मूवी वाली है, एग्जैक्टली. और पाए ना ऑर्डर ले लो. They're calling. Okay, let's go on. Let's just go on. Question number 24. Arranging a stamp collection by the size of the stamps. Now just keep in mind, arranging a stamp collection by the size of stamps is less common than other methods. Now look here. They arrange the stamps by size. Badi wali pehle, the smaller one next, then the smaller and the smallest, the largest and the smallest. So this is what they are saying. Arranging stamp collection by the size of the stamps is less common than other methods. Now they will tell us other methods and this method. So let's see. If this method is less common, answer is true. If this method is more common, answer is. And if they don't tell us whether this method is less common or more common, then the answer is not given. Let's go back. Yeah, the next paragraph. Stamp collectors, for instance. Left side column, second paragraph. Found it? Fourth last line. Everyone? I tell you one thing, don't give up. Some of you have started to give up. Give up means, and then they're looking, right? Mind is not working, but they're only looking at this, looking at me. Yeah, like Sayana. So be careful, don't act like this. Please be with me. So, stamp collectors, for instance, arrange their stamps in albums, usually very neatly, organizing their collection according to certain commonplace principles, perhaps by country in alphabetical order, or grouping stamps by what they depict, people, birds, maps. Have they mentioned anything about size? That the bigger one first and the smaller? Answer is not given. Okay? So again, don't give up. Please focus. You will understand the things. Yeah? Why? Listen. The question says arranging stamp collection by size. Have they mentioned size of the stamps anywhere? That's the point. Yeah, they said other methods, this method, that method, but the size, and then they've used the word is less common. So size is not mentioned. When size is not mentioned, there is no point of mentioning less common. Okay, that is why it's not given. All right, there's a very thin line between false and not given. So you should be clear. Question number 25. Someone who collects unusual objects. Let's go on. Someone who collects unusual objects may want others to think he or she is also unusual. Like if I have a doll, I am an unusual person. Right? Yeah. If I have a doll, I am unusual person. So the people who collect unusual objects, they want others to think that they are unusual people as well. Next, second last paragraph. One reason. Second last paragraph of the passage, please follow quietly, calmly. One reason, conscious or not, for what someone chooses to collect is to show the collector's individualism. And what is individualism? That they are unusual. Answer is true. Okay, let's go on. To collector's individualism, someone who decides to collect something as unexpected as dog collars, for instance. Yeah, this one? Huh? For instance, may be conveying their belief that they must be interesting themselves, and believe it or not, there is at least one dog. No, actually they've mentioned individualism, and that's very simple. Yes, but actually the exact word is collector's individualism. That means collector is also unusual. Very simple. And in true false not given, more you read, more you get confused. Keep that in mind. There is always one sentence for true false not given which you have to read and match. And if you try to read more and more and more, you will get double confused. This is important point. Question number 26, please. Collecting gives a feeling that other hobbies are unlikely to inspire. Collecting gives you a feeling that other hobbies will not inspire people. Collecting will inspire people. So if it gives the feeling, answer is true. If it doesn't give that feeling, then answer is false and otherwise not given. Please come to the last paragraph. Of course, all hobbies give pleasure, but the common factor in collecting is usually passion. Pleasure is putting it far too mildly. More than most other hobbies, collecting can be totally engrossing and can give a strong sense of personal fulfillment. So collecting gives a feeling that other hobbies are unlikely to inspire. What is written for other hobbies are unlikely to inspire? Yeah, what is the word for that? All hobbies give pleasure, but the common factor in collecting is usually passion. Pleasure is putting it far too mildly, and more than most other hobbies, collecting can be totally engrossing. More than most other hobbies, and the word here is unlikely to inspire. That's right. Answer is true. Reading passage 3, we've got list of headings, but first of all, you will read the title of the passage. What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? What's the title? What's the purpose of? It means they will talk to us about the purpose of gaining knowledge. Why do we gain knowledge? What's the purpose of that? So the whole passage is about it. Now, please come to list of headings. Type A or type B? If it is A, section A, first heading. Section B, second heading. Section C, third heading, and all that. So listen, for list of headings, how many questions do we have? 6 questions. These 6 questions will take all your time. You have only 20 minutes maximum when you reach here. Maximum 20. And some students, they have only 10 to 15 minutes for part 3. They are so much engaged in part 1 and part 2 that they find no time. So you need to manage your time. And how can you manage your time? If you focus part 1 and if you finish part 1 in 15 minutes, which you can do, then you will have plenty of time for part 2 and part 3. But if you waste all your time in part 1, and how will you waste your time? By excessive reading. How will you waste your time? By not understanding the question. So if you are doing it systematically, part 1 can be comfortably done in 15 minutes. And for part 2, you can have 20 minutes and the rest of the time for part 3. Okay? Now, list of headings. What do you have to do? For this, you need skim reading. Which reading? Skim reading. And what is skim reading? You read the paragraph. Now, there is one paragraph which you have to skim and then you have to decide which heading. Now, let's understand what is the heading. Heading covers the basic theme of one paragraph. But unfortunately, sometimes some headings, they do not cover the theme of the paragraph. They only cover one sentence in the paragraph. Actually, what should happen if they have given the heading? So the heading should cover all the theme of the paragraph. But sometimes there is only one sentence. Now, whenever they write paragraphs, the writers, in the first sentence, they present the main idea. In that case, there are chances that you will find the clue of list of headings in the first sentence. But this is not the case all the time. Secondly, what happens? They start with some general comment. And then in the middle of the paragraph, they introduce the topic. So in that case, the middle sentence will tell you which heading is appropriate for that. And I have read some passages where they start with general discussion. At the end of the paragraph, there is the conclusion of the discussion. And that conclusion tells you what is the heading. Do you understand? So there are 3 important points. First sentence, somewhere in, and you should see. I mean, when you read the first sentence, if you have a feeling that, yeah, they have started with the main topic. and now they are going to elaborate on that. Then you can go to headings and match the headings. If you don't feel anything like that, then read on and reach in the middle and then the end. And one more thing, warning. If you read more and more and more, it is going to become more confusing for you. One thing. Second, if you find a paragraph which is the shortest one, can you see here? Paragraph C is long, B is fine, A is fine, even D is the shortest paragraph. So start with the shortest paragraph and then go on to other paragraphs, right? This is another technique. Why? Because when you do, for example, in paragraph D, how many lines? 4 lines only. So you can do it easily, okay? Now, one more thing. The most important part, one is skimming and reading the paragraph. Second important part is interpreting the heading. Those who interpret the heading, and by the way, first you have to read the headings. You will do this question type at the end of that section. Because otherwise, what type of questions do we have? Can you see questions 33 to 36? They are summary completion. Questions and answers are in order. Questions 37 to 40, what are they? Yes, no, not given. Questions and answers are in order. So first you will do these questions so that you secure at least 7-8 questions, and then you can go to list of headings, because list of heading will take you to all the passage. Full passage, because there are questions. What are the questions? 27 to 32, section A to section F. So that will take you to all the passage. So do it at the end. When you do it at the end, you'll be familiar with the passage. It's going to be easier. One more thing. Do it at the end, but read the headings first. Read the headings with imagination. I tell you how. What's the topic of the title? What's the purpose of gaining knowledge? Please come to list of headings. Courses that require a high level of commitment. Underline high level of commitment. And imagine courses, high level of commitment means you have to do it every day, regularly, and all that. Heading number 2. And when you read list of headings, don't read articles. And, the, some. In our language, they don't mean anything, right? So heading number 2, course title with 2 meanings. In one paragraph, they will tell us that some people may understand from this course title this thing, and others may understand another thing. Course title with 2 meanings. And imagine a course title with 2 meanings. Equal importance of 2 key issues. They will describe 2 key issues. 2 issues. First of all, secondly, or firstly, another one, and issues, 2 problems. Heading number 4. Applying a theory in an unexpected context. Unexpected means what you don't expect. Applying a theory, application of a theory in an unexpected context. Financial benefits of studying, very simple. They will talk about money. In a paragraph, they will talk about money, finance. You can earn money, thousands, dollars, this and that. A surprising course title. He will talk about a course title and he will say it is very strange. Or even when you read the course title, you will feel this is a strange title. Course title means a university course, or a course which they offer, any course like, educational course and all that. Different names of different outcomes. Now they will say the first outcome which is called this, another outcome. So names of outcomes. Outcome means the end result, the result of something. Possibility of attracting the wrong kind of student. Like you say, the name of this course is so different that the students who want to join this thing, they can also be attracted, right? So possibility of attracting the wrong kind of student. Okay, fine. Now, we actually start with it. Don't worry. Otherwise, you should start with other questions. We'll do them later. Now we go on to paragraph A. And one more thing. How many questions do we have? 6. And how many headings? 8. What does that mean? two trap headings, and they make trap headings so beautifully that you will say this heading should go with every statement. Okay, so if you have a feeling with a heading that it should go with every statement, that is usually a trap heading. Okay, now please come to paragraph A. I would found an institution where any person can find instruction in any subject. Okay, it's talking about this. Cornell University. Skip it. When you skim, you skip. Understand skip? You read few words, then you skip to the next sentence. You read few words. If you think it's not about the topic or the main thing, then you skip. Now please come to this third line. Different university also in USA where I currently teach philosophy. A student can prepare for a career in the resort management, engineering, interior design, accounting, music, law, but what would the founders of these two institutions have thought of a course called Arson for Profit? I kid you not. There is a name of the course, Arson for Profit, and he says, I kid you not. I kid you not, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा. कोर्स का नाम है Arson for Profit. A surprising course title. And what is the word for surprising? I kid you not. I kid you not. This is the title for a course, Arson for Profit. Got it? Now have you noticed this time it's the third last sentence where they gave this idea. So those who say for list of headings, read the first sentence, never listen to that. That's not the first sentence. Sometimes it's the last one. Sometimes it's a middle one. Sometimes second last one. And all that. Okay. Now, let's go on. We've got paragraph B. Let's skim read it. Naturally, the course is intended for prospective arson investigators who can learn all the tricks of trade. Okay, let's go on. Next line. Discovering who did it and establishing a chain of evidence for effective prosecution in a court of law. But wouldn't this also be the perfect course? Oh, listen. See, first they said this course is intended for prospective arson investigators. And now they say, but wouldn't this also be a perfect course for prospective arsonists to sign up for? So one type of people. And then he says, wouldn't this also be the perfect course for another type of people? So it means the title of the course is confusing. It may attract two type of people. Now go back and see which heading is appropriate for that. Heading number 2 is course title with two meanings. They did not talk about the meaning of the course title. They talked about the type of people who can be attracted to this course. Heading number 8, possibility of attracting the wrong kind of people. Come back. What is the word for wrong kind of people? But wouldn't this also be the perfect course for prospective arsonists? So prospective arsonist is the wrong type of people. The title of the course is Arson for Profit. Arson is related to sports. I think it's just like Tir Kaman or any other game like that. Let's go on. We've got paragraph C. And one more thing, you will write the list of heading in Roman numbers, right? Roman numbers. Paragraph C. I realized this anew when I was invited to speak before the class. Second sentence, the regular instructor is a colleague who appreciates the kind of ethic perspective I can bring as a philosopher. There are endless ways I could have approached this assignment, but I took my cue from the title of the course, Principles of Marketing. It made me think to ask the students, is marketing principled? After all, a subject matter can have principles in the sense of being confined, having rules. So he's talking about confusing title like principles of marketing. Is marketing principled? Let's see if we find anything. Heading number 3, equal importance to a course title with two meanings. Absolutely. Principles of marketing. It made me think to ask students, is marketing principled? After all, subject matter can have principles in the sense of being confined, having rules and all that. So principles of marketing, it means, is marketing principled? So there are actually course title with two different meanings. And if you read on, you will find those two meanings as well. Now, paragraph D, I give you 20 seconds to read it on your own. Come on, read it on your own. Read it? Yes. He says yes. Why for? He is applying a theory in an unexpected context. And what is that unexpected context? Is it obvious? I made the suggestion which may sound downright crazy in light of the evidence that perhaps marketing is by definition principled. My inspiration for this judgment is the philosopher. Now he's talking about marketing, but he's using the philosopher Immanuel Kant, who argued that any body of knowledge consists of an end or purpose and a means. So come back. Heading number 4, applying a theory in an unexpected context. Context is marketing and he's applying the theory of a philosopher. Understand? Philosopher's theory in marketing. So this is unexpected way he's doing. Now please come to paragraph E. Let us apply both the terms means and end to marketing. So there are two meanings, means and there are two terms, both means, two terms, means and end to marketing. Let's see. Means and end, what are they? Two? Yes, heading number 7 is different names of different outcomes. No. Heading number 3 is equal importance of two key areas. Okay. Heading number 2. Heading number 2 is a course title with two meanings. No, it isn't that. Heading number 3, equal importance of two key areas. Now come back. What are those two key areas? Listen, for key area, they have used the word terms. Number 1. Number 2, these terms are given in brackets. Can you see? And what are those terms? One term is means and one is end. So for term, he used the word key areas. So for question number 31, section E, heading number 3 is the right answer. Okay guys, now we've got paragraph F. Please come to that. Now, paragraph F. I just give you half minute to skim. Please do it on your own. Skim through it. Focus paragraph F. Just a second. Just skim it first, okay? Skim the paragraph and then we'll see what the heading is. Just focus the word. They can use the same knowledge of means to achieve a much less noble end. Heading number 7, excellent. Different names of different outcomes. Now, where do they use the word outcomes? Yeah, they use the word to achieve a dash. To achieve means outcome of dash. And if you come towards the end, third last line, we have another term for it, fraud. Kent gives the example of a doctor and a poisoner who use the identical knowledge to achieve their divergent ends. We would say that one is practicing medicine and the other is murder. So what is that? Heading number 7, different names of different outcomes. Okay, this passage is really dry. Let's go on. Questions 33 to 36. Please come here. This is going to be simple now. The Arson for Profit course. This is a university course intended for students who are undergraduates and who are studying dash. Now let's go back. Undergraduates, paragraph, first paragraph. Undergraduates and who are studying. Please come to paragraph A, second last line. Any undergraduates who have met the academic requirement can sign up for the course in our program in fire science. So this is a university course intended for students who are undergraduates and who are studying fire science. All right, let's just go on. Question number 34. The expectation is that they will become, they means students. Students will become dash specializing in arson. They will become dash specializing in arson. Paragraph B. Naturally, the course is intended for prospective arson investigators. So they will become investigators. And it's one word only, no more than 2 words. But you cannot write arson. Yes, you may write arson investigators as well. Will become arson investigators. Yes, they have written specializing in arson. So that's why you cannot write arson investigators. Answer is only investigators. The course will help them to detect cases of arson and find dash of criminal intent. Find dash of criminal intent. Same paragraph, read on. Find, for find they use the word establish. Absolutely. So you read on the tricks of the trade for detecting whether a fire was deliberately set, discovering who did it, and establishing a chain of evidence. Establishing, for that the word is find, evidence of criminal intent, leading to successful dash in courts. Courts. Leading to successful, exactly, in court of law. And for successful, the word is effective prosecution in a court of law. So the answer is prosecution. Now, how many questions are these? 4. And how many lines have you read? 5, 6 lines. So that is why I prefer this one. If you start with list of headings, it will eat all your time and then you will not have time for such simple questions, okay? All right, thank you. All right, now we've got questions 37 to 40. It is difficult to attract students onto courses that do not focus on a career. Now listen, yes, no not given and true, false not given, they are cousins. There is a warning. The warning is if you write yes, no for true, false and true, false for yes, no, your answers will be considered wrong. So you should be very clear. If it is yes, no, write yes and no. Because those markers, they don't have this option. They see yes and you've written true, wrong answer. They see no, you've written false, wrong answer. Right? I mean, they just match and, I mean, they're like robots. They don't have their own brain. But they see on the answer key, tick, Right answer, wrong. You see on your answer sheet, they've got to color. Color right, color wrong, and all that. Okay, thank you. Good. So, question number 37. It is difficult to attract students onto courses that do not focus on a career. Just see courses, career, and all that stuff. First paragraph, they use the word career. A student can prepare for a career in resort management, engineering, interior design, accounting, music, law enforcement, you name it. But what would the founders of these courses? Have they mentioned that it is difficult to attract the students onto courses that do not focus on a career? The word career is there. And one more thing. For not given also, you've got to read 1 or 2 sentences. I mean, you need to read the relevant information. Now, over here, the clue word is career. You go back and see where they talk about career. And it is also possible that they talk about career in 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. So you need to see wherever the word career is. If they say it is difficult to attract students onto the courses that do not focus on career, if they say anything about it, then you got to see true, false. And if they don't mention anything, like over here, what is written? They've written simply, a student can prepare for a career in resort. But they did not say attract the students on courses which do not have career. So the answer is not given. Okay, question number 38. Arson for profit course would be useful for people intending to set fire to buildings. Set fire to building means आग लगा देना, राइट? कोर्स है आग बुझाने वाला, उसमें ये भी बताते हैं आग लगानी कैसे है. Okay, so arson for profit course would be useful for people intending to set fire to buildings. Paragraph B. Paragraph B, and I'm reading it from 5th line. Yeah, my point is not to criticize academic program in fire science. They are highly welcome as part of increasing professionalization of this and many other occupations. Last line. However, it is not unknown for a firefighter to torch a building. Firefighter to torch a building. Torch a building means building ko aag lagana. So firefighter also knows how to put a building on fire. And what is written here? Arson for profit, that is the course they are talking about, would be useful for people intending to set fire to buildings. Why? Because they said here, they said, however, it is not unknown for a firefighter to torch a building. This example suggests how dishonest and illegal behavior with the help of higher education and all that. So, the course for firefighters, it also teaches how to set fire a building, torch a building. For torch a building, they use the word set fire to buildings. Please come to paragraph F. And just look for this detailed definition. If they gave a detailed definition of the purpose of their studies, answer is yes. If the definition was not detailed to the point, then it is no, otherwise not given. So please follow paragraph F. It is at this point that arson for profit becomes supremely relevant. The course is presumably all about means, how to detect. Come to the next line. When I asked fire science students, found it? When I ask fire science students to articulate the end or purpose of their field, they eventually generalize to something like the safety and welfare of society. Is this the detailed one? It is the generalized idea, right? Which seems right as we have and all that. Now what's the question? The writers, fire science students provided detailed definition. Now what is the definition? The definition is safety and welfare of society. Is this definition detailed? No. So the answer is no. All right.